Well, good evening to everybody. I can see that we've got one or two people popping up now. We're up to 10, so welcome to you all. I can see we've got Jill with us, Michael, Martin, Doreen, Dane, and Peter Curry. So welcome to you all, and hopefully somebody's going to be happy at the end of the day. At this precise moment in time, I'm not sure who it'll be. Great set of images presented in front of me this evening, so it's not going to be an easy job. Evening, Paul. Welcome to this evening's YouTube live stream. Bob just popped in. Hope you've been getting on with the camera okay today, Bob. It's been a great day for us all. I'm sure there's been one or two people out and about in the gardens. Even if it's only sat in a chair with a nice drink. So, hi Gary, just see you popped up. So, welcome to you. It's just getting a few more dropping in now. So, hi Jim. Pleased you could make it. As I was saying, we've had a great day today. I've been getting this set up in the office whilst helping very minutely, but helping the wife. She's been having a clear out of the shed. So it didn't go too bad. I think I did 3 or 4 bits of carrying. The rest was done by the good lady. So good evening, Graham. Yes, all staying safe and well at this end. So no doubt, like everyone, we're all wondering what will exactly be happening this weekend with the government's thoughts on what the next move is. I'm sure that we're all waiting in anticipation, and I must admit, I do think, like everyone else, it would be absolutely brilliant to be able to get out and about again, but I do also think that yes, Dane, I must admit, that little shed is her abode. So Di is a person who she cuts the grass, I don't. So yes. So 1 or 2 more popped up. Hi Caroline, that's Caroline O. Hi Dane, I think I've said I've said hello, haven't I? Hi Sue, and Alan's just popped up, and Caroline S. So welcome to you all, and no doubt with Caroline you've got Dave there as well, so welcome to you. Welcome Gail, pleased to see you. Don't forget that I always see your remarks just a little bit later than you do, so I'm just moving the camera a minute because it's just in the wrong place. I thought I'd got it all right, but yeah, that's somewhere about, but it just wants to go across a little bit. No, gone the wrong ruddy way. It doesn't matter, we've got a minute or two to spare. Who else has just popped in? I've said hello to Gail. Oh, Viv. Hi, Viv. welcome to this evening's YouTube presentation. As we all know, it's competition night tonight. Just a bit of a fun competition. Just something that I thought would be a good and different competition to do during these days of lockdown, etc. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, I appreciate that you know, there's lots of different people with lots of different views, but you know, we must all stay safe, and if that means staying at home, then you know, that's what we've got to do. So it it's alright. Sorry about that. I just saw Ray's comment pop up there. Just finished me chips. Wasn't there any fish with it, Ray? Or was it sausage tonight? So yeah, stay safe everybody, and we'll all do what we're told until we can get out and about and meet again. So we've got a few more exciting things coming over the next few weeks, because I'm sure that at the end of the day we're not going to be able to meet as a club for a while yet. Yeah, it would be good. I had a sandwich, marmalade sandwich for tea, Ray. Marmalade sandwich. Hi Michael, see you've just popped up, so welcome. We're nearly there now. We've got another 3 minutes to go, so just a little bit more waiting time for people to join us. It does seem as though we do get a few in that last 3 or 4 minutes, and in fact the numbers usually just pop up a few after we've started, so I don't have so much of a choice to have a look after we've started, but yeah, Paddington. Yes, Paul. I must admit, I do like a marmalade sandwich. I used to be quite fussy, and I have to have the shredless, but I even go for the shredded one now, so yeah. Viv, just one for Viv there. If you read the message, Viv, he's finished the chips, so he's very sorry, but he can't send any over to you. I'll answer his question for you. So, and even if you send a courier, you won't get any because he's had them all. Doreen had a homemade cheese, onion and mushroom pie with salad. Well, there's too much in that, Doreen, for me. So it's just got a couple of minutes. I see that Doreen said hello Gromit, but I never saw Gromit pop up. I'm just looking back, but I still can't see Gromit having popped up. So yeah, hello to both Gromit and Nick. So I'm not quite sure how Doreen can see that Gromit and Nick are watching. I must admit, for those who don't know, Nick is the new member who joined us last week, so big welcome again to Nick, and Gromit is Nick's wife. So Mark's just popped in. Hi Mark, welcome to this evening's YouTube presentation. You can't Nick watching but not signed in. Oh, I see what you mean, Doreen. Yeah, so welcome to everybody. Another night, another fun competition. No big prizes for this one, but there is some very good images, and some people have gone to great lengths to bring to the forefront some great images that have been created for the event. So thanks for that. So right, it is now 7 o'clock, so I will make a start. The numbers are up to 26, 27. It's it's just jumping up and down a little bit. I'm sure, and I'm going to mention it this week because I never do, I'm sure that Jan might be watching from up there in Scotland, so welcome this evening, Jan, if you are. Hopefully we've got an entry or two from up in Scotland, so we will carry on. Now, just to explain, I get a list from Jill who just gives me the titles, and they're in the numerical order that you see them in as well. So I don't have any names, I've no idea whose picture it is. I must admit though, it is quite nice trying to guess whose image they are. You do get used to people, and I must admit at the end of the day I usually get it wrong. So right, off we'll go then. We'll make a start on the first image. What I'm going to do tonight is something a little bit different. I'm going to show you the 3 top images and give you the reason why the 3 top images are being shown first. I thought it'd be a bit different just to show you something different and let you see the winners first. So off we go. Here's your first image. This is the winning image by myself. I think that this image is absolutely wonderful. The author's done extremely well, and I think that you'd agree with me that that particular image had to come top. So that's the top image, produced only earlier this week, and that's me in isolation. So there's your winning shot for this evening. Moving on swiftly, this is number 2. Why is this young chap number 2? Well, that's my grandson, so it had to be number 2. You know, it can't not be, really, can it? You know, what else would you do at home but get yourself a paintbrush and make yourself a little rainbow? Very appropriate for this time, etc, etc. So there you go, that's number 2. That's my grandson. So Ray, just seen your comment. If you could not be cheeky on air, please. You're getting a little bit too forward with your comments. So Michael Hudson, hello, welcome Michael. So you found it in the end, so that's very good. Right, we'll show you number 3 now. So this next image will be 3rd this evening. So here we have a young lady doing a little bit of gardening. So this is number 3 for the evening. Now you can see why I had to have this one number 3, because of course the first one was me, the second one was my grandson, and this is Jill. So sorry Jill, but you had to come 3. You know, but there you go folks, just a little bit of fun to start with, and just something a little bit different for you. The reason that Jill's got her picture in here is that I did mine and told her that I'd done it at the beginning of the week, and then I challenged her to do one as well. So Jill had a go and did one at her house as well. Right, on with the competition, and the first image is a little bit of shade. Nice image. I do I've just seen what Jill put on the chat there, fiddle. Well, I had the casting vote, so that's how it worked out. Anyway, onwards and upwards. This first one is called A Little Bit of Shade, and I love the way that the author's taken this, and there isn't a lot of shade in the picture, and there's just these 3 bars, and sometimes you would say, well, you don't want the shadows across the picture, but I do believe in this case those 3 lines really help the image to come to life. I think you possibly could even have taken it across here. This one across on the left hand side doesn't particularly, because it's not open, it's not particularly making any big entry into the image, so possibly you could have taken it down a little bit there, but nevertheless I absolutely like the way that the author's gone round, seen it and taken this one, so I am going to keep that one for later. Number 2, a little of what you fancy cakes. Yep, a nice image. You've coped well with the white background. It's not quite blown out. It is very white, but it's not quite blown out, and as such it does make it a very bright, nice, light image. I like the way that you've set it out. You know, it's quite nice. Excuse me. It's quite nice, and you've got a bit of everything in there. You've got the fancy cakes, you've got the tea, and this little butterfly whatever in the saucer. So nicely put together, nicely composed. The only thing I'm not sure of is the angle that you've taken the picture at. I think I would have liked to have seen it, you getting down a little bit lower and making the cup look like it's standing up a little bit more. We do need to see the tea in there, but it's just a little bit too leaning forward for me. So that one is going, and that one gets 15. The next one is a relaxing read. Well, I must admit, you can't get a lot more creative than this, can you? It's just had a bit of thought put into it. It's been put into practice, and the author, as we can see, has come up with something totally different. So I think I wouldn't even have mind if the lady had been a little bit further back, because at the moment we've got the lady competing with the tray, etc., on the back. So if she was just a little bit further back, so it's just very picky, but you know, it is just one of those thoughts that I have myself. Otherwise than that, exposure, etc., not too bad. I think if you're doing anything where, like my image to start with, when you're triggering the camera, just try to hide the trigger a little bit more. We can see the trigger there, and if I zoom in on it I can actually see the button being pressed, but nevertheless, absolutely well creative image and a good one for tonight, and I shall be keeping that one for later on as well. Afternoon cocktails. Yeah, afternoon cocktails, number 4. Let me just check that. Yeah, afternoon cocktails. Nice image again, well exposed. You've got the exposure right. I do think that the the glass, I don't know whether it's because of the wide angle lens you're probably using and the closeness to the subject, but the glass is just leaning to the right. So I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit of either correction, or it might be the table, you know, it might be this split in the table that's just pushing it over. I'm not sure, but that's just leaning that way, but the fluid is level. So, you know, it could be that it's a wide angle lens. The second thing on this particular image is just try a little bit higher f-stop if you do it again, because although the front two bottles are in focus, the far one, the bottle of Havana Club, is just going a little bit soft. So maybe if you was on f4 or something on here, try and get it up to 6.3, little bit higher, just to give it a little bit more depth of field. Just a little bit of room top and bottom, so that's okay. And I like the way you've got these three figures in the background which have gone out of focus. That works really well. But this evening that one is going, and that one gets 16. This next one is Alfresco G&T. I better not tell Di about this mate, because she hasn't got that one. The Lakes Gin, so possibly from the Lake District, not too sure, but nice image. I like the way that you've put this one together, and I'm just going to stop there and say hi Sean, welcome to this evening's competition. Just see you've popped in there, so welcome to you, Sean. Yeah, lovely image. I like the way you've composed it. I like the way you've got the lemons, the fruits, and this basket, and etc. here. The basket nicely blends in with this greenery in the background. I would have tidied the image up a little bit though. These two little bits of red here catch my eye, so put them over with the others. Just make sure, or just delete them out. And maybe you could have taken a slither off this side. It is something that not necessarily needed. And then the other one little niggle is this particular bowl or whatever it is on this left hand side. So that could have done with either cloning out or not even being there from the beginning. So just make sure you look round your image and you make sure that everything's in place, out of place, etc. You know, more I look at it, there's another little red berry there, so just be careful with the bits and bobs. But a very nice image, you know, well seen, well taken, well put together. That one gets 16. And lo and behold, Mr. Partridge. So yes, not something that we usually see close to the houses, but of course in this particular case it could have been near a farm, could have been near farmland, a field. People have fields at the bottom of the garden, so it's a well seen, well caught image. Very nice detail. The background's thrown nicely out of detail. This bit of red of this building or a rail, whatever it is, just catches my eye, but nevertheless very good image, and I'm keeping that one. The next one is At Least I Have a Garden, and a very nicely kept one as well. I must admit, we've got a very plain garden. I'm not a gardener, so I must admit that ours is a bit of grass, a patio, and that's where I finish. So it's not got many flowers, etc, etc. So just seen somebody else pop in. Hi John Applewhite, welcome this evening John. So Another person just popped into us. So right, onwards with this picture, else I'll never get through them all. At least I have a garden. Very nice image. I like the presentation. I like the way the path leads us in. I do like the way you've got your hat on the table as well. That just gives a little bit of homeliness. So I am going to keep that one. So that's another one I'm going to keep. Boxing hares. Yep, boxing hares. Very well thought of. I mean, yes, those have possibly been there, but the author's gone round and seen these, and it all fits nicely. The two hares in the foreground, we've got the blue there, and then the vase in the background, so it all fits together nicely. This plant on the left, that's okay. I just wonder whether that post if you could have come round to the right a little bit and got rid of that post. It's just a little bit distracting, taking our eye away from the main subject, which is the hares. But nevertheless, very, very sharp image, lovely presentation. You know, it's a nice image altogether. I am going to let that one go, but it does get the extra point. It's 17 points, but a very nice image. Right, buzzing along. Yeah, another nice image, and I think that you've actually got this one, and it's the bee is lovely and sharp. It is. I'll just zoom in for you. It is lovely and sharp. You can see all the little fine hairs on the back, etc. So well caught on that. I'm not sure that the lighting has been favourable for you, because the bee unfortunately has gone into the area of shadow. It would have been so good for you if it had come round to this forward flower here, and then it would have been in the sunlight. So it's just a really good image, just let down a little bit by the lighting having fallen a bit of shadow over the bee. But nevertheless, nice try. I know you don't have time to do things, but if we could have included just the flower area and taken a little bit off this side, that would have been nice. But these things happen so quick that you can't do it. So that one, buzzing along, gets 16. Right, cat on a fence. Not cat on a hot tin roof, but a cat on a fence. Yeah, now this could... it's one of those things that you can't really set this sort of thing up. You have to just capture it at the moment when it happens, and the author's been fortunate enough to see it walking along, and we've got the movement because we've got this foot off the ground at the back and this one at the front just gone down on the lower part of the fence. So the colours blend in fairly well with the fence, to be honest. So it's a nice subtle colour towards the whole thing. Now unfortunately, I think your point of focus on your camera must have been in the middle here, because this part of the image in the middle is absolutely fine. It's as sharp as anything. We can see all the detail of the feathers there, but it does fall off on the head a little bit. Now it wouldn't matter if it fell off in the back end of the cat, but just on the head it does just lose a little bit of detail. So that one will go, and that one gets 16. Well captured though. Right, the next one is chained, and yep, sure is chained. So we've got the chains around the feet, and it all fits in again. You know, the thought of where we are, what we're doing. We're all in lockdown. We're chained to our homes really, and so consequently I've just seen another comment from Grahame H. Zooming in, something you can't do in the club room. No, I know, it's great. Another little advantage. Yeah, so you know, chained, we can't get out, and so this just tells us about the times, and the author has chosen to do it in in black and white, and it works really, really well. I'm not sure that it's up there with the top ones tonight, but a very good try, and it's very good in the interpretation of what the title was for tonight, Lockdown. So well done on that one, and for that one gets 17. Cherry Blossom. Yep, love the way that you've gone in and you've chosen this bunch of cherry blossom in the foreground, and it's just given us that view of this blossom right at the very front. And then we look into the background and we've got the softer colours in the background, the greens and the pinks of the blossom in the background. Just a couple of little bit that we've got a bit of brightness here that would have been nice if you could got rid of, and these two little bits of orangey light colour on the right hand side. So you know, it does just give two or three little bits of niggles, but very nice image, very well caught. Cherry Blossom gets 17. Right, the collared dove. Someone's been fairly fortunate with two or three things. One, having this collared dove within distance to be able to get a good close-up shot of it. You could nearly say a portrait shot of it. Good detail, and then we've got the lovely blown out background. We have got a couple of dark strips, one under its throat here and above its head, and then this on the left hand side. But after saying that, it's a very, very nice image, and another one that I'm going to keep. Right, collision of water drop. Yep, it's one of those things that they look very, very nice, and having played about with water drops in the past, not this type of water drop, but having played about with just standard trying to catch a blob or two in midair, it isn't easy. It needs a lot of practice, and you know, it's good to have a go at something different again. And of course, it's spot on really for the competition title. You know, what else do we do in lockdown but we get our cameras out and just have a go at something different? I must admit, I've been speaking to a few people, and they have said that, you know, they've been trying one or two new things during this time when we can't get out and about so much. So well done for having a go at something different. Yep, this one's quite nice. We've got the splash and then the other drop that's hit it, and it bursts and goes into shapes. There is another one a little bit later, and I think the latter one is a better one than this. So I'm going to let this one go on this occasion, and this one gets 16. Digging the escape tunnel. Yeah, the only thing I would say is you've not got very far yet. It needs a little bit more work on it. I saw it originally, and because there's this mound of earth, and because there's the soil, the bare soil, it just gives you an impression of a badger set. You know, it's amazing how you think of things, even though there's somebody stood there with a spade, and the soil, it's just gives you the thoughts of a badger set. But nevertheless, I'm sure that mound either is made into something now that represents something that was wanted in the garden, or that soil has been distributed to make something else. But yeah, one of those jobs that possibly wanted doing for years but has never been done, and so the authors thought, well, let's just have a go at capturing this as I do it. And once again, however you triggered the camera, it doesn't matter. This is the image, and we've got a representation of what you've been doing during this period of lockdown. So well done on that one. So digging the escape tunnel, 15. Right, evening sun. So yes, it when you see the titles with an image, it does make all the difference, and you know, you can see the glow of the evening sun coming from the golden hour, and the difference that it makes to the top part of the picture. Unfortunately, it doesn't brighten this lower part of the picture up, but there's enough colour in there and this lower part just to keep it all together. So we have got something happening there. I think because this right hand side is just very tight on the edge, and this bush here is very tight on the edge, and as we always say, I don't know what was to the right hand side, so I can't say, but I think you could have moved across and got rid of this post, because on this side, except for this little bit of pink here, which doesn't do a lot for the picture, I think you could have moved across and got the colourful part of the image a little bit more in there. So a good try. I like the colours, I like the plants actually, lovely colours in there, lovely plants, but evening sun gets 15. First visitor to my garden, Mr. Pheasant. Now, is that the first visitor of the day, or is it the first because somebody's just moved in? Or it makes you think, doesn't it? You know, it all just makes you think what's happening. It looks as though, in actual fact, somebody's put some wire bits in here. Just seeing something now I've said what I've said. I didn't see it when I looked at them earlier, but I can see a repeat of a pattern being cloned in across this top here. So, you know, we can see these nails have been cloned, and we've got nails in the grass here, and we can see repeating patterns quite a bit here and also across here. So maybe a little tutorial sometime about cloning and masking. So not quite sure what the circle is here, whether it's flare or not, but we've got a circle there as well. We can see that it's raining a little bit. We've got some slashes of rain here, so I think you've probably done as well as you possibly can in the circumstances of the weather, etc. So well done for seeing it, and we've got a nice image as well. It does just lose it's a little bit soft on the head, and unfortunately the bird wasn't looking your way to just get a little bit more of the face. Could have taken a little bit more off just to the right of it, just to give it a bit more room to view into as well. But overall, well captured, and first visitor to my garden gets 15. I like this one, fresh from the garden. Yeah, I like the fact that it's all sort of wild flowers and bits and bobs that have been collected, and the array of colour that makes the whole bowl of flowers look right. It and so it gives us a good sense of what colours they are. Sorry for the little hiccup there, I was just reading what somebody had put. As I say, I absolutely love the flowers, but unfortunately I think they're clashing with the blue of the background. The blue of the background is, you could say, a pastel colour which goes with the hues of the plants, but I think had we been able to get a black background, then that would have made all of those colours in that vase really jump out at us. So very, very nice image. I love the flowers. There's some of my favourites in there, some wildflowers, and so very well for doing that and collecting them and getting them put together for the competition. That one I am going to let go, but Fresh from the Garden gets 16. Right, on to number 19, Gone for Our Exercise. Yep, gone for the bit of daily exercise. I must admit, I've not had a tremendous amount of exercise during this period, but I've had plenty to keep me busy during the time, so I'm backwards and forwards, so I'm going to make up for it afterwards. So you know, hopefully when we're able to get out and about, I'll have to get out and about a bit extra. So done for our exercise. Yep, there we are. We've got the cushions, the books, the phone, the old coffee cup or tea mug, whatever, newspaper, and of course one sign of the Times, the hand gel on the floor as well. So nicely put together, and a very simple image, but of course, you know, you've got to put it together, you've got to think about it, you've got to make sure that everything works, and in this case it does. And by the look of the book there, somebody's dead in Devon. So well done to the author for putting it all together, and that one gets 15. Had enough of board games, number 20. Yeah, we've must admit we've played a game or two, the wife and I. We're basically Upwards fans, so we tend to get the Upwards out, and we get the dictionary out, and off we go. I must admit, I picked my first 7 letters about a week ago, and I said to the wife, I said, God, I've got a word here, and I said, I've absolutely no idea whether it actually means anything or not, but it really sounds good. And Di's recently bought a new dictionary, and it's what they call a Scrabble dictionary. Well, it's the stupidest dictionary that you've ever seen, because if you can make up a word, it's in that dictionary. And my 7 letters made up a word, and I can't remember what it was, but that's the first time ever in my life I've put 7 words out on the first go. So I shot into the lead, but unfortunately I did win, but unfortunately Di caught me up all but 1 point. So yeah, back to the competition. Had enough of board games. Yeah, we've had enough of the games. We've piled them all up in a pile. We've started with Rat Race, and we've ended up with a big movie night. So it's just a case of that's what people are doing. So once again, this is a good representation of the time we're in at the moment. You know, board games, videos, etc., etc. So nice image, nicely sharp. Not a winner this evening though, and Had enough of board games gets 15. Half-day trip to the moon. Yep, tonight in actual fact is the brightest full moon that we've got. It's called a milk moon tonight. Where it gets that name from I'm not quite sure, but apparently it's a milk moon. It'll be rising about 8:52, I think it said, and the largest that it'll get to on this occasion is 99.5%, if I remember rightly from when I looked. So it'll be lit up 99.5%. I think that was it anyway. Detail on the moon, you always get better detail when it's a half moon or a quarter moon, etc. because the light is falling across the craters better, and you get better detail on the hills and the craters. So this is a great image. It's one that we've all been having a go at. Well, lots of us have been having a go at, and I like the way you've kept your whites white, your grey in on the moon there, and then the black. You've not brought or introduced any noise into that, so well done on that one. I'm going to give that one 17 and let it go, but it is a very nice image, so well done to the author. 17 points. Hey, It's Mine. Yep, the blackbird with picking up bits of bread, and on this occasion it's just tossing a little bit back into its throat by the look of it. I think the image is well caught, well seen, nice size in the image, but we are getting quite a bit of softness on the body, and although we've got this capture of the mouth open with the bit of bread just going down, the softness just lets the image down a little bit, but absolutely well captured. The background, the nice greens and greys, and the foreground, and then we've got just this one bit of bread where it's picking it up from. So all fine, good image, but could just do to be a little bit sharper. And Hey, It's Mine gets 15. Right, on to the next one, number 23, homemade cheese scones. I'm just going to go a little bit faster because I'm just getting a little bit behind at the moment. So homemade cheese scones, yeah, love cheese scones. I like this image. It's nice and sharp, well put together, and I'm going to keep that one. So number 23 I'm keeping. Number 24, In Limbo, Old and New. Very nice image again. You could say that it looks like it's floating, but the author's put in limbo, so you know it does just help us to associate with the fact that it's not got a base to it as such. Detail in the vase and the flowers is great. I like that one, and I shall keep that one, so I'm keeping number 24. Number 25, In the Conservatory, we've got the artificial lizard there and the plant. Love the pastely pink colour against the green of the plant. Unfortunately, once again, the focus point, if you've had your focus point in the centre, has gone onto the wall, which of course makes the lizard nice and sharp, but we've lost the detail in this leaf that's nearest to us. So as you can see, the leaf that's closest to the wall is absolutely pin sharp, but we do lose detail in the foreground, which we do need it. So that one, In the Conservatory, love the colours, love the green against the pink, etc., and so it just gets a little bit extra. That's 17 points. Indoor sunbathing. Yeah, indoor sunbathing. We've got the picture of the dog here laid in the sun. I must admit, we've got a black dog, and it was laid in the sun in the house today, and it got up and came to me. I stroked her, and boy, she was hot. And they get really hot. And this one's laid here in the top section of the window, coming through. I think, I don't know whether you could have done, but I think I would have liked to have seen its head instead of its bum. It would have just made for a little bit more interesting photo. So, you know, just think about trying to get, if you could have got round. I mean, like our dog, if you'd gone round, it would probably have jumped up and come to you. But as I say, I would have preferred to see its head rather than its tail. So indoor sunbathing, number 26, gets 16. Right, isolation, monochromatic mindset. Yeah, I like all of them M's. Very, very good. This one isn't being held back, but it was very, very close. It's a lovely sharp shot. and we've got some great detail in the petals, the leaves, even from the front to the back. But unfortunately we've just lost it in some areas on the leaves of the petals of the flower, just on the edges. I even don't mind the darkness in these because you've got the light just catching the edges of these leaves, which is absolutely spot on, but just a little bit too bright in the white areas. So I'm sorry, that one nearly got held back, but on this occasion 17. Right, I'm just going to grab a mouthful of water. Whoops. Right, we're on to number 28, Light Painted Garden. Yep, I must admit, when I first looked at it, I didn't see that it was light painted until I saw the title. But the author's done well with the exposure. We've got sharpness from the front to the back as well. I think I would have liked to have seen these three little bits not there. The plant stands, the pot stand bits there, but nevertheless it was well seen, well captured. You could even have gone a little bit to your left and got a bit more of that tree in and just lost a little bit of this wall here up this side. It would still have worked okay, and we would have got the bucket and the plant here in as well. So just take a really good look at your image. I know it was dark at the time, but take a look at your image and just see if you can make it a little bit better. But I like the image, I like your light painting, and I like to see the fact that you've actually done it from the right hand side. Now that could be a light coming from the right hand side, and of course obviously it is a light, but that could have been a light from your house or something. But nevertheless, you should never light paint directly from behind the camera. So Light Painted Garden number 28 gets 17. 29, Listen to Mother. Yeah, I like the way that you've arranged this. It works really well, and I like the examples of the tulips. The nice examples with being a little bit different, and I like the way that you've got the two talking to each other. Obviously they're not, but you know what I mean. So very good in its build up, and I'm not you've done the vignette, but I don't know whether you needed it. It works well, but that does just draw us to the centre. So yeah, not bad at all. Listen to Mother gets 17. This next one, Lockdown Playtime. Very nice image, very sharp. It's just let down a little bit by these little white marks all over, which should have been spotted out. I don't mind about this so much down the bottom, but these at the back should have been spotted out. But nevertheless, very sharp, nice image, and I'm keeping that one. Number 31, Long-tailed Tit. Once again, excellent picture. It is. It used to be one of my absolute favourite birds, but there is others now that have overtaken. But this is one of my favourites. So lovely image, lovely shot. You can't help the background on these sort of shots. So it's a good sharp image. You was just unfortunate with the light a bit. You've got a nice light on its back, etc., but it's a little bit in shadow at the front. But after saying all of that, Long-tailed Tit I shall keep. Louis watching. Yep, Louis is watching what's going on, and Louis wants to know what the hell is going on. I think we all can see that the image is just a little bit soft on this occasion, though. It is soft on the face and the eyes where it needs to be sharp, and we've got something that was in the way here that's just gone into a soft green colour, but nevertheless it has just let it down a little bit. So unfortunately Louis gets 15. Right, male sparrow with nesting material. Yeah, very good example of this sparrow. We all pass them by and we see them and don't give them a second thought, but after saying that, they are a pretty bird, you know, in their own way. They're pretty. And this image, you've done well. You've got the one branch and you've got the subdued background to it as well, so that really works well. This bit in the bottom corner though, it just needed, I mean, you could have got rid of it, or you could have just taken a slither off the bottom to get it so that I didn't even see it. So do look around your images and see if there's anything that the judge is going to say you should have done whatever. So male sparrow with nesting material gets 16. This one, male sparrow, this is the better example. Possibly I don't think it's the same bird, for the simple reason the black bib and the chest is darker than the last one, but the example of the actual bird is a better example. I'm going to hold this one back, but once again we've just got this little bit in the bottom corner. Just check around your pictures, you know, just make sure that you've got rid of those little bits and bobs. But number 34, male sparrow, I'm holding back. Montana clematis, yeah, nice example. Unfortunately, I keep saying that word and I keep using it regularly, but unfortunately the plant and the lighting is good on all of the plant, but you've only got one head that's facing forward. You know, we're just looking at the back of them. Now you could say, well, yes, we've got the pinks, etc., but it would have been nice to see a few more facing forward. Now I know you could you could say, well, I would have had to stand near the fence and I wouldn't have been able to get the picture, but you know, hey ho, it is what it is, and I would like to have seen the front. I like the way that it leads in from the bottom left corner though and then sweeps up and round. It works well, and you've filled the frame and you've got a fairly nice dark background with the fence. So Montana clematis gets 16. Mrs. Blackbird in my garden. Cracking image, really nice, superb posture. The face is just to the side, it's watching what you're doing. We can see the iris in the eye, and I love the way that the woodwork of the fence just frames it, and then the background is superbly out of focus. A little bit noisy, but not too bothered about that. It's a nice image and I will hold that one back. 37, my portal to the outside world. Yep, it's certainly somewhere that a lot of us have been, and we've been sort of trying new things and working out new ways of enhancing our images, etc. And with an image like this we can look round and we can get lots and lots of different things to look at. You know, the only one, there's a lot of things in here, but the only thing that I would have got rid of was this bit up in this top left hand corner here. We can see a bit of it. I know we can see a bit of this, but it balances because we can see a bit of this picture and it tells us a story about the table. So this bit up here, just get rid of that, and it does still tell us a good story in itself. That one, my portal to the outside world, number 37, gets 16 points. Nuts, more nuts, yeah, and the old squirrels after them. So it's, yes, we've got the back end of the squirrel, and I said I didn't want to see the back end of the dog, I wanted to see its head, but in this particular instance it's doing something that's a means to an end, and that is lifting the lid up, getting the nuts out of there, and it's going to be running and shortly, and either eating them or hiding them. The actual crop is good. You know, we've got the top of this, and then the top, the bottom, bit of fence, and a bit of the land eye here in the background. So a nice image, well captured, just at the right moment. But nuts more nuts, 16. We've just got another 4 minutes before I get through the others, so I'll do another couple. Pansy. Yeah, pansy. I'm going to say very quickly, we've got a gap at the bottom but nothing at the top, and we're not quite round, and we've just got a little bit of space difference, very tiny bit of space difference on either side, but nevertheless the actual plant itself is great, and the colours are nice, and I like the way you've embossed the edge of the frame here, and put the black fine line round. So pansy gets 16. Pigeon love, nice image. We're just getting the time of the year when the birds are laying, etc., and as it says, pigeon love. I know it's from the back of this other one, but we've got interaction with this bird which tells the story. Nice image, background nicely soft, so works quite well, and pigeon love, 17. Right, pink flowers. Pink flowers, nicely presented. Someone's gone to the effort of doing something a little bit different. It's really high key, which I like. I like the pink against the white. Works really, really well, and that's a one that I'm going to keep. So pink flowers, I'm keeping. Plants in lockdown. Yep, we've got them looking out of the window. It sort of gives you that impression of the plants are looking. We want to go outside, you know, let us out, and so it works well. And the author's done really well to keep the exposure right for the plants inside and quite good for the buildings in the background as well. So well done on that one. Not a winning image tonight, but I think you've got a great image there, and you've seen it, and it's something, the title goes really well, and it's something that goes with the competition tonight. So plants in lockdown, 42 gets 15. Playing away the hours. Yep, I did take up the organ at one time, but I wasn't good enough to do it. Did it for a couple of years. My daughter got on really well, so so she took it up, but I didn't. Nice image, well caught, nice and sharp. I think you're at the right angle. We can even see the music, so that's good, and we've got great detail in this planter at the side. Not a winner tonight, but after saying about that, playing away the hours gets 16. I'll do one more. Propped plum, happy hare. Yep, hare at the bottom there, just having a nibble at the foot, and then we've got the old plum tree propped up. I think we've got a lot of green in this image, and we've got a green cast over the tree as well, so I think I would have tried to have toned it down a little bit. So very nice image. We've got lovely colours in all of the plants here, and the yellow dandelions, etc., and the old hare sat at the bottom. But not a winner tonight, but a very nice image, 15. Right, we shall break now until 15:15, and if you could all be back for 10:10, that would be appreciated. So I shall see you all at 10:10, and we shall make a start with the rest of the entries.